Hey, what's going on guys, TheBrokenMachine here, hope you guys are all doing good. Welcome back to a new video. Today we're going to be looking at how to win more gunfights. Before we get into this though, do remember there is an accuracy bonus when stood still. So if you're not in a gunfight or your enemy is not aware of your presence, make sure to stand still when firing. Now it's always a good idea to be ready for upcoming battles and trying to predict where your opponents may come from, but often we don't have that luxury and we must act quickly. These are going to be some of the techniques you should be using in those situations where you're caught off guard, against multiple opponents perhaps, or at a range where your weapon is perhaps not as effective as your opponent's. One of the simplest techniques is a change of direction. This will make you a much harder target to hit and will likely throw off your opponent's aim. If you're coming from the left, go right. Coming from the right, go left. This is most useful when going around a corner where your enemy is likely to be waiting for you. That quick adjustment in movement may be just enough to throw your opponent's aim off. Highly recommend this when up against shotgun users. Another technique you could use is moving left to right very quickly, also known as ADAD spam on PC. This technique is a little bit more difficult to pull off with a controller, but it is doable. This is a very subtle technique that can be tricky to counter and is most effective at medium ranges. If you ever see this being used against you, best bet is to lower your aim and spray for the torso. Generally speaking, you want to be using this technique when your opponent is at a distance where you can comfortably move left to right on the analog stick without having to move the right analog stick. The next technique is the crouch bounce. If you've ever watched me play Battlefield 4, you've probably seen me use this quite often. All you need to do is bounce up and down with the crouch button, not spamming it constantly, but just enough to crouch down or bounce up, pop off a few shots, then crouch down or bounce up again. This is a great technique that will help you win close range gunfights. Outside of those ranges though, make sure your aim is on point. Wouldn't recommend using this technique at longer ranges. Crouch bouncing is much easier if you set your right analog stick to crouch. Simply set your controls to veteran in the options menu. This technique can be incredibly effective against multiple opponents, and even more so if you put some cover in between you and them, like a small wall for example. Another technique you could use is the new slide feature introduced in Battlefield 1. All you need to do is simply press the crouch button while sprinting. I use this all the time. Often you can slide around a corner and completely catch your opponents off guard. This is very effective in those tight areas or on objectives where players are often aiming down sight around a corner expecting you to come around. You can often slide right into their blind spots and briefly be undetected. Again, I recommend switching your controls to veteran to make this technique much easier to pull off. Lastly, where do we shoot on our opponents? Headshots are of course great when up close and personal. The extra damage multipliers will certainly help out there. However, unless you're a shotgun user, point blank, or using a sniper rifle at longer ranges, don't waste time trying to go for the head. Often it's much quicker to aim and fire for the torso than it is if you were to adjust for the head. That extra time it takes to adjust could cost you, so decide quickly in gunfights. Is it worth it to aim for the head? In close range with a shotgun or at longer ranges with a sniper rifle, yes, it may be the best idea, but at medium ranges with an SMG, you'll probably drop your opponents quicker if you just spray for the torso. And that is all for today guys. I do hope this tutorial was helpful. If it was, please drop a like and I'll see you soon. Thank you very much for watching guys. Until next time, take it easy. Catch you later.